And what I'm going to do is just mark it. That's not what you want to do, but that's fine. Doesn't want to do it. How's it going, everybody? It's James from FTR Outdoors. Sean is manning the camera. We're just in the garage at home, and we're going to do another Tacoma Overland segment video today. As you can see, the truck's here behind us, and it looks a little bit different. Took the awning off because we purchased a new awning. So for you guys that have been watching previously, you know that we've had up until now the ARB series 2500 mil by 2500 mil, so 8 foot by 8 foot awning. It's been super sweet. It's a good awning, nothing really wrong with it. We just decided that we wanted to upgrade. We've been looking into the 270 degree awnings for a while, and we finally decided to pull the trigger for some various reasons. Those reasons we will go over in a video to come in the future when we actually go over the workings of the awning that we chose to get. But today what we're going to do is go over how we've decided to mount the awning to our current setup. So the awning that we chose to buy is the Rhino Rack 270 degree Batwing Awning. It's a popular awning, lots of people out there have it, lots of people have been using it, lots of great reviews. This isn't one of those videos yet, as we haven't had a chance to use it. This is actually going to be a video on how we decided to mount it to the truck. The main reason for this is the ARB awning mounts directly to the Prinsu Design Studios universal awning bracket without any hassle. As you can see on the bracket here, I'll show a close-up B-roll clip in the video, but there's a main top hole and then a big slot here for your awning bolt. Every awning comes with mounting bolts. What Rhino Rack did, and you know, kudos to Rhino Rack for I guess marketing their own product, they made the channel gap on the back of the awning, again I'll show you that gap, about 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch, in that range, longer than the allotted slot in this bracket. So where that becomes an issue is if we want to mount it properly, we no longer have the mounting space as per this bracket, unless you want to just mount bolts on the top, which you could, but we like to have like the 4 out of 4 bolts as provided in the kit. A quick rundown of what was provided in the kit. You got the awning. Again, I'll show B-roll footage of this stuff. You've got the mounting hardware. It actually came with 2 brackets, which we can show you, as well as some other odds and ends, spare parts, etc. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna show you my idea on how we are going to mount this to the Prinsu Design Studios universal awning mount brackets. That's a mouthful. So again, for you guys who've watched the Tacoma Overland build video in the past, or those who've been following along, our Tacoma has the Prinsu Design Studios Top Rack on it. We've been using it for the last 1.5 years, and I would say we've used pretty much every usable square inch on the rack itself. It's been a great rack, it works great, and it truly is modular and customizable. That's why I like it. I'm going to grab a bracket here. This is what was included with the Rhino Rack awning itself. This is their universal mounting bracket, but as you can see on the side here, if it'll focus, it's got these triangular channels. The way this is designed, it's designed to sit on top of a platform flush. So that's basically what Rhino Rack did, because Rhino Rack platforms are flat and flush. I believe the Front Runner Outfitters racks are also flat and flush. They're a platform style. This is actually a sidewall style. So on the Prinsu Rack, for those of you who have it, the crossbars sit recessed from the outer bar, which is this piece here. I mean, no fault to Prinsu, no fault to Rhino Rack. They each did their own thing, but this bracket as is does not work on the Prinsu Rack. you could make it work, but that's not going to be this video. This video is going to be making the Prinsu brackets work. So what we'll do is we'll show you exactly the issue, and I'll tell you why. First off, these two holes here are the holes that are going to be mounted, or the holes that you'd use spacing wise to mount the actual awning. These measure, I believe, 3 7/8 of an inch from center to center. 3 7/8 of an inch. So these holes, max span, are about 3 3/4 inch. So you're about a 1/8 of an inch off, and you know, it kind of sucks. It's kind of a pain in the butt. But again, these companies aren't, you know, in relation with each other. That's the joy of these racks and these systems, is they're customizable and you can do whatever you want with them with a little bit of engineering and ingenuity. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna make these brackets receive the 3 7/8 inch width, center to center screw or mounting bolt distance. How we're gonna do that and the tools that you guys are gonna need, you'll need some metal drill bits, so either titanium or cobalt drill bits. Usually everyone has drill bits kicking around. If your drill bits are dull, just go get some new ones. They're pretty cheap. You'll also need a permanent marker, a Sharpie, a pen, whatever it might be, just to make a mark. You'll need a center punch or a pin to make a pilot hole or a starting drill point so that your hole is centered. And you'll need a drill, obviously. That's pretty much it. Oh, and a hammer to punch the center punch. That's pretty much it. It's super quick. It's gonna be an easy one. So we'll get right into it. So first off, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my Sharpie and then I'm gonna take my bracket. I've decided, so I've already got 3 of these Prinsu brackets on my rack, and Rhino Rack only included 4 bolts. Now, the previous awning I had it mounted on 3 brackets with 6 bolts. Now, the Rhino Rack bolts are quite a bit beefier, so I'm just gonna put 4 bolts on, as that's what they recommend in the actual instruction manual. And that's what we were given. I'm not gonna go find some more, order more. I'm just gonna use the 4. They are way beefier bolts, so I'm not worried about it. And I've decided I'm just going to drill out this center bracket on the bottom here. So I'm going to extend this channel down that extra 1/8 of an inch, just so I can make that bolt receive properly. And the other 2 outer brackets, I'm just going to have 1 bolt mounted in the top. So I've got 2 in the center, 1 on the top, 1 on the top. I believe that should be more than adequate. The nice thing with these Prinsu brackets is they are mounted onto the actual rack with 4 bolts on each bracket. So they are plenty sturdy. They will not go anywhere unless the rack itself fails or if the Thule track decides to fail, which I have heard of happening. So to start off, I'm gonna pop my marker cap here, and then Sean, I'll get you to come in close. And I'm going to line up my top hole. What I'll actually do is I'm gonna grab my bolt and I'm gonna put it through. So that's where I know my top hole is, and it's nice and centered. And then what I'm gonna do is mark a center point here with this pink Sharpie, whatever Sharpie works, and then I'm gonna take this off. So on there you see I've got now my mark, and you can see how close, it's right where my finger is. That is the tolerance that you need. So it's actually a very, very short amount of distance. We're gonna drill it. You could use a router if you wanted to, but I think drilling is gonna be quite a bit easier. So now that we've got the hole marked, the next thing you're gonna need to do is take your center punch and your hammer, and you're just basically gonna mark the spot that you want to drill as close to center as possible. I'm just gonna eyeball it. I can see that's where my hole is. I'm centering my hole. Take my hammer, tap it, and there's my punch. What that's gonna allow me to do is drill a pilot hole and then drill my main hole, and that'll be hopefully the exact distance that I need to receive that distance of that bolt. I will go center to center, and I am at 3 7/8. So it's perfect. Use that bracket to your advantage. You can clamp it on if you want and just drill through it, but I'd rather just go through the steps of making the punch and then drilling the extra pilot hole to do it right once, because if you mess up this, and if I mess this up, there's a good chance I'm gonna have to take a Dremel or a file and just bore that hole out. But it is aluminum, so it's pretty easy to work with. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take a 1/8 drill bit. I'm gonna drill a pilot hole. Okay, so what I did there is I started that hole. I'm not gonna drill all the way through though, because that's now enough where I can put my bigger bit into, and it's gonna bite without bouncing all over the place. And I'm gonna drill my bigger hole. Alright, so this was something I was worried about. I'm gonna keep trying here. Alrighty, so after 10 minutes of kind of scrambling and engineering, so kind of like I said at the beginning of the video, what we expected might happen, the drill bit decided to wander. What we ended up doing is actually bolting this guy onto this guy, and then we drilled the hole. 11/30 seconds drill bit instead of the 3/8. The 3/8 was a bit big, and the 11/32 decided, or actually ended up being the exact one for the job. So I'm gonna measure here real quick, and I am bang on 3 7/8 inches center to center. So that track now is the right size to fit the awning. So the next step is gonna be getting the awning up there and mounting it. This is the main idea of the video, is just actually modifying the bracket so that you can mount the awning onto your Prinsu brackets. Sean and I are gonna go ahead and put the awning up, and then we'll show you video once it's put up, just to show that it actually did work, and then we'll just clarify afterwards exactly what we did, how we did it, and then go from there. So overall this process took about 20-30 minutes. Getting that hole drilled perfectly center with that channel is kind of a pain in the butt. So what I would recommend is bolting the two brackets together right off the bat. The reason why I left this one up on the truck is because it's already bolted in, therefore it's not going to run around and move. It's as if it was viced in there. If you want to take it off and put it on a table vise, that would work as well, but this worked actually really good. So we're gonna put the awning up, and then we'll cut to the end when the awning's actually up and show you guys what it looks like. We did run into those few little issues with drilling. Like I said though, just bolt the two clamps together and it should work no problem. Just go slow, use those pilot holes to your advantage, and just be careful that you don't angle and snap a drill bit. If that does happen, it's not a huge deal, but for us, we got lucky, it worked out. We've got all 4 of the bolts as planned, bolted in the place that we had planned to do it, and the awning works and looks great. We quickly set it up on the lawn, but it's quite windy and we don't have a lot of space here. And like I said, future videos in the next week or so, we're gonna show the actual awning itself and do a first impression review in comparison to the ARB 2500 series awning. But so far it looks great. There were some other little things that didn't work perfectly on the Prinsu. Rhino Rack supplies like a little cleat that you can bolt onto a Rhino Rack, so that you can essentially tension the other end of the awning. That's not going to work with us, but Prinsu always with their racks, or they should anyways with their racks, include like a ring for clipping on accessories that you can just hand tighten on. So what we're going to do is just use a carabiner and clip it into that ring, and it'll work great. We'll show you that though in the future videos. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully it's helpful. I looked all over online to find something that told me that I could mount this Rhino Rack 270 Batwing Awning onto Prinsu roof racks, and I didn't find anything. So this may be the first video of its kind on YouTube. It does work, it just takes a little bit of ingenuity. That's the joy of these Prinsu racks and these modular rack systems, is you can make pretty much anything work to your desire. The whole roof rack setup that I have has all been done through just kind of customization and my own thought process and ingenuity. One day we'll do a full breakdown of the roof rack. It is quite interesting. It's very well utilized, I think, and there's not many racks out there that are used the way that we've used ours. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up, like the video please, subscribe, share it with your friends. If you have any questions, comments, let us know and we'll get back to you in the comments section. Like I said, in about a week or so you can expect to have the initial review video and actually see this awning deployed and how it works. We can already tell there's a few things that we're not super keen about, but it's still a huge upgrade from the 2500 series in terms of space and usable area. So thanks guys, until next time, stay tuned, get outdoors.